Hey guys, it's Stephen Daniel, and you are tuned in to Keeping Up with Stephen. And today I want to share an update with you all and some exciting news I've been keeping a secret for a while now. So be sure to stay tuned right here. Hey guys, happy Thursday. Today is March 19, 2020, and I am so excited to be here another day and grateful for another day to be alive. I wanted to share an update and some exciting news that I've been keeping a secret from some of you all. If you don't know that back in December of last year, I accepted a job offer from a company, airlines, to be a flight attendant. So I went to a group interview back in December, or actually November, and was excited to be trying to achieve one of my dreams of being a flight attendant. And so that's why I've been keeping a secret, and I was supposed to start training on March 16, 2020 and fly out to Salt Lake City, Utah. And everything went as scheduled. Today, like I said, is March 19th, so I wanted to share an update on my journey and how it's been going for me up to becoming a flight attendant, one of my dream careers. Like I said, it's been one of my dreams of being a flight attendant mainly because I had a passion of helping others, and I knew that flight attendants had shared that similar passion. Also because you would be able to travel the world and see so many different people and learn so much about their background, their ethnicity, so much just to travel the world. So I came across this career, and for a while now I've been praying on it and studying, watching YouTube about being a flight attendant and how to prepare for being a flight attendant. So last year, long story short, I had a interview with one of the company's airlines, and they offered me an interview, and it was on the phone where you would record yourself and answer the questions that they asked you. And so that one went okay. I wasn't ready for that. I didn't know what to expect again. And if anybody knows, being a flight attendant is very hard to even get an interview. Not being arrogant, but just it's very hard to get an offer to even be at an interview. So that one, it was like, wow, for them to look at my resume and for them to say that it stood out to offer me an interview was overwhelming. So, but they did say no the first time. So I said, okay, well, I'll give it some more time, and I kept dreaming about being a flight attendant, and I knew it was a passion of mine, but I wasn't going to give up on my dream, but I just said I'll give it a break. So fast forward, I came across online where a company said they were in Atlanta, Georgia, having a group interview. And so it all aligned, and so my mom was coming that same week, and so I said, okay, I'm going to try and just give it a chance, but I knew I kind of got nervous because I don't like group interviews and I don't like interviews, period. But again, I had to overcome one of my fears. So I went to one of the group interviews. I just went to one. They had it at a hotel. It was probably about 75 people that showed up. And that's why I gave y'all those interview tips, because I knew that this was one of my dreams, and God said yes. So long story short, I went to the interview, the group interview, and after they said yes, it took about 2 to 3 weeks for me to get that yes in an email from them, and that was back in early December. The first week of December, I'll never forget. I fell out at work in my chair, and I shared the news with some of my coworkers. And then immediately I let my job know soon, about a week later. I let them know because I wanted to prepare them for that, because I knew that I was such a value that they would be losing. So I just let them know ahead of time that I would be leaving. Fast forward, it was about 90 days before I knew that I had to leave for training in March. I was very excited. And I started saving a lot of money because I was reading about being a flight attendant. It's going to take a lot of money when you're in training, because training could be about 4 to 6 weeks. So I knew I had to prepare for this. And so I was working a lot of overtime, trying to save a lot of money. And so fast forward, I mean, that 90 days went so fast. So during that 90 days, I also was studying for my test, because I knew that being a flight attendant is an intense career. And even the training is very intense, so I knew I had to prepare for that. So I started studying the online material on Quizlet and preparing for the test, because I knew the first day that you get to training, they tell you that you have a test, and if you don't pass it, you can go back home. So I was preparing for that. Long story short, I got to Monday, which was March 16, 2020. My last day of working was Friday the 13th, that Friday, and I was excited. I was overwhelmed with a list of things that I had to make sure that I was getting ready and preparing for, because I was going to be gone for a whole month. So I paid my rent up 2 months in advance. I was paying my bills in advance. I was letting my lease or people my apartments, let them know that I would be gone. Let my internet cut that off. I was preparing ahead of time. And so Monday I had to fly out. I got on the flight, and I was flying out to Salt Lake City, Utah, where my company was based out of, and the training would be based out of. And we were going to be gone for a whole month. And I was excited and very anxious, didn't know what to expect. I got on the flight. The flight was empty. I could show pictures, I'm going to include that. But the flight was pretty empty. I knew that it was affected by the coronavirus, but I didn't know it was going to be that bad. So when I got on the plane, it was empty. I had my whole row to myself. It wasn't a lot of people traveling. And so, like I said, I received a email on my way about 45 minutes in to arriving to Salt Lake City, Utah. I received an email and it said update from my company, but I couldn't open it at the time because I wasn't on Wi-Fi. But then I received a text message from one of my upcoming coworkers, and they were telling me that flight attendant training had been canceled. And yes, we were kind of worried about it before, because we didn't know what the virus was going to do, so they did not let us know. Well, they weren't even aware themselves of what they were going to do, so we were expected that Monday to be attending or flying out for flight attendant training. So we had already arrived, got there, they sent us pretty much back a flight home that evening, later a flight right back home to Atlanta, Georgia. So long story short, I made it back, and for some reason I was like, I wasn't mad or upset. I just was very calm, because I knew that this was the career that I chose, and this is what happens sometimes, that unexpected things happen and you have to be prepared for that. So I wasn't even upset. I knew it was all gonna work out in God's timing. So I got back home late that evening, or late that night, about 12 midnight on Monday. And then Tuesday, I was texting my boss at my old employer, letting them know what the update was and how everything was going. I was letting all my coworkers, my friends, family, everybody know. So long story short, Wednesday came, and I also, like I said, let my boss know, and I said, hey, if I don't hear an update from them of when it's going to be rescheduled, the next training, I may just come back to work, because I got bills that I need to pay, and so I have to get back to work until they give us a further notice. So Wednesday, I wanted to share with y'all that I received a notification from the news, and it said there was a 5.7 magnitude earthquake in Salt Lake City, Utah, exactly where I was going. And it was astonishing to me, and I was amazed, because I knew something, God was up to something, and he was probably protecting me from something, whether it had been the virus or an earthquake that I would have never knew was going to happen. So I just felt everything God has prepared me for. He gave me a word, and that's all I need is his word. But he's also protected me and preparing my path right before me, because we don't understand what it may look like on the outside and what's going on with the virus and with the chaos in the world or whatever's going on around us. But we have to make sure that we, trust God and continue to keep our eye on him, because he is the beginning and the end, So I wanted to encourage you all, share this this journey with you all, an update about it. I've been keeping that a secret that I was preparing and transitioning to a new career of being a flight attendant. So as of now, they did email us and let us know that one, they are doing a hiring freeze. So meaning they're not going to be hiring. I don't know exactly what that looks like for me because I was considered already hired. I just had to finish training. But you're not an employee till you finish training. So I don't know exactly what that looks like for me. I know some companies are laying off. A lot of flights are being canceled. So this coronavirus has really hit the flight industry really hard. So they have flights canceled, and so flight attendants are being affected because flight attendants that have a set schedule or line holders over overseas flights, they don't have a flight anymore because they've been banned to travel overseas. So you really want to think of other people in this season and this time that we're going with this coronavirus. Just make sure you don't be selfish and think of yourself, but always put your others before you and treat them how you would like to be treated. Be careful. I want to pray for you all, and I am praying for you all, but be careful out there. Make sure you're protecting yourself first and then protecting others always. I know it's so much going on, and I want you to be encouraged. Like I said today, I wanted to share that my journey and my story with you all to encourage you that delay does not mean denial. God's word is final, and what He said, what He spoke over your life, it shall be so. And so I am encouraged every day to keep pushing and keep fighting for my dream. I don't know what the future exactly holds for me, but I will be starting back my job, so that's good, and just waiting for a word from them. And I would, like I said, continue my dream and chasing my dream no matter what delays or hurdles I have to cross. So stay tuned, stay positive, stay encouraged. Make sure you're washing your hands, you're journalism. These are things that we should already been doing, and some of us slack, or even me, but we have to stay up on top of it now because this virus is really serious, and I want you to all be safe and encouraged. I'll talk to you soon. Be blessed.